Alright, g'day there. I'm Ben from M.I.A gear. I'm just going to do a quick video on how to put up the Westlander 2, and we've got the SS400 stove here as well, so we'll chuck that in the tent. We'll just quickly show you how to put everything together, and then we'll put the tent on top, put the stove in, and should be good to go. So we'll get into it. Your poles are going to come either in a bag like this or probably in a cardboard box, and the bag will be in the tent bag itself. So we've got one of these bags are inside all of the tents. We've got the actual tent bag here itself, which has the angles in it. It's also got two big heavy duty straps here that you can put on your back if you want to lug it somewhere, or you're going to carry it in the bush somewhere. Gives you a way to chuck it on your back and transport it in. So that's the tent. In here we've got the stove. It's a zip up jobby, and the stove sits in here like so, and your flue pieces, flue cap and legs are all inside here. We just use this strop to keep it all tight when we're packaging it away. Right, so when we pitch the tent, the first thing we want to do is start with getting our angles out. So inside our tent bag there's 9 angles. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They'll also come with 2 packets of pegs, 20 pegs in total. So the first thing to do is we'll just put the tent out of the way. We want to lay out all our angles in the correct spots of where they're going to sit when the tent's erected. So you've got these lesser angle ones, I think it's 24 degrees, are the sides. So the hole always goes on the inside. The hole is for your 1500 long poles. So lay it out like that. That's the centerpiece. This is the sharper angle. So this is for the ridge. Here's another side angle. Another ridge. Another end. Another end. Center ridge and side. Under these straps, these just keep everything nice and tight, help fit in the helicopter or the boat. So inside here we've got our poles, which are 1 inch heavy duty aluminium. They've got these clips on them where the holes go. So what we do is we get our 1500s out and we lay them where they should go. Now that we've got our angles in place, we've got our 1500s running horizontal, 1 down the ridge and 2 down the sides, and our 13s are in the middle. So we'll start clicking the length pipes together for starters, and then we'll start on the rafters and work back. So okay, so we've just moved the frame into the sun so you can see it a bit better, and it's a wee bit flatter here. So what we do now is we take the canvas out of its bag. We've got 2 sets of pegs in here, keep them handy. We won't need them to start with, but what we'll do is Travis is going to give me a hand, but we'll roll the canvas out. Okay, so you want to roll your tent out, work out where the front is. Obviously the door's here, so that's the front. So Travis will need to come around this way. And what you'll see is on the walls there's Velcro. So you need to make sure this Velcro is undone on all ends. Ooh. Yep, so that's open. That's open. Then you want to lay it flat. So you just got the wall. This is the opposite wall on that side. So we're just going to walk the canvas over. Now it's going to get caught, so you just got to be patient and kind of feed it as you go. Slowly pull it over. Someone can go inside and start making sure that it's folding over, because what happens is the walls might fall inside the bracket and they need to go over the top. This corner here is a bit messed up. Right, so now that we've got the canvas over, pretty simple really. We need to make sure that it's obviously on the top of the ridge. These are on the walls, and then what we can do is you just start with going from corner to corner, putting your Velcro back on. You'll see there's ties here as well, bit of a double support. Make sure that the Velcro sits in front of the frame, so it curls around the foot and Velcro right to the bottom. Make sure you pull your ties out, because depending on how windy it is, you'll want to tie those up. Let's do the back. And now that we've got the canvas all up, we've done the Velcro. We won't tie it for today, but normally what you do is on the sides here you've got 3 or 4 different tie points, so you can actually tie that Velcro closed and it won't move, which is ideal. So in the inside, you just want to go through and push out all the legs so that it's nice and tight. Mainly just the 2 end legs, or the 4 end legs, sorry. Make sure the storm flap's all folded out nicely. This storm flap here is make sure they're all folded flat like this. And then what you do in the hills is chuck dirt on that, chuck rocks on that, chuck anything really. There is peg points inside that you can peg the walls down with, so you don't have to put stuff on there, but it is a good idea to put something on there to prevent wind coming up underneath, and also stop water, so you can actually dig this into the ground. You know, dig a ½ foot down with your spade, bury this in there and stop that moisture coming through the ground. Obviously you put all your tie points out. There's 16 of these tie points on here, and you'll see there's a tightening strap here. The idea with this is you're going to have to make a bit of a loop, so I normally just do a bit of a half circle, tie it off, and then that there is your peg point, and you can adjust obviously your length here and how tight you want it. You want to get all of these up. I know sometimes you'll pitch your tent and it's beautiful conditions and you just chuck a couple up, it'll be sweet. You need to put all of them out, because the last thing you want to be doing, I've done it before, is pegging shit down at 3 in the morning, because it's painful. So you do it once and she'll be all good. On the top here we've got the stove jack, so we can just roll this up. There's a tie on the top, tie that off. 80mm hole and get our stove. What you want to do with the door is, if obviously always pitch your tent with the back into the wind, and you don't want this thing staying up all the time if it's real windy. You want to close it, zip both sides when it gets windy if you're going out for a hunt for the day. Right, we'll chuck a couple of pegs in just so you can see how it all works. So you can use this obviously to tighten, pull that nice and tight. Let's chuck a couple at the back so it keeps it nice and tight. Right, now that we've done that, you can see it makes it a lot more sturdy. You put all of these out and it is rock solid. The fabric itself is where all the strength comes from, and the frame, but you need to make sure that all the side ropes are down too, because that pulls the frame into the ground and it pulls the canvas into it, locks it all together. The 2 zips on the side here, when it's windy, lock this whole wall, So you need to make sure that this is down if it's really windy. Now on the inside, we've got peg points all around the bottoms. So you can obviously use rocks on the outside if you want, or you can peg it from the inside, get your walls nice and tight. Around the door, you can obviously pin it down, stop people tripping, and you can put pegs the whole way around. We've got 3 windows, mesh, you can roll those up, stop the bugs getting in. There's also all these ties here, so you can go through and tie it all down onto your frame if you really want to go. If you think there's a storm coming, best to do as much as you can before it hits. Over here we've got our stove jack. It's in the front left corner. We've put it here so that it's a bit safer, and if you do get a bit of smoke, you can open the door and let it come out. It's ideal for sleep 2. Gear, stove here. We'll set the stove up. We'll put in a silicone fiberglass fabric here, which is can handle up to 260 to 300 degrees, and it'll be fine with your fireplace. So I'll grab the stove and we'll set it up and show you how it works. Okay, so your stove's going to come in a nice cordial bag like this. It's just ideal for carrying and chucking in the chopper. So what you want to do when you're setting it up is, I've got a brand new one here. Obviously we're not going to light it in here, but I'll just show you how it all works. It comes with the strap on it. So the first thing you're going to want to do once you've bought one is actually take all the steel off, all the plastic off the steel, and then everything's inside here. So we've got all our flue pieces, so you can pull them out. There's 5 per stove, which gives you roughly 2 meters. Inside here, if you can see, there's actually a baffle. We've put a baffle in here which ensures the fire burns a lot more efficiently. It creates a bigger flame and it gets a hotter hot top for cooking, and just puts out a lot more heat. So first thing to do is take everything out. Obviously take your legs out, put your door back on. We'll just pretend we've taken the plastic off this. There's a couple of little slots to allow it to sit properly. Get your feet. They've got wing nuts on both sides. The top is obviously, there's a black little knob here which goes on the bottom, so you just feed your legs up through your bracket, up through your stove, put your wing nut back on. Okay, so that's our stove built. Then the easiest thing to do is chuck a couple of lengths of pipe together like that and bring it inside. Just work out roughly where the hole is and where you want it to sit. So we're looking pretty good there. You can turn it around like that if you want, or you can have it however. So we normally have it about sit like that. We'll grab the rest of the flue. So when you're putting the flue together, you've lined it up. You want to save the flue cap and the last piece of flue to the end. Poke this one out through so you know where you are. Chuck this in there. And come back out and chuck your cap on. And that's pretty much it. She's good to go. So what we've got to do now is obviously make sure everything's pegged down nice and good. I normally get, depending on where you're camping, chuck a heap of rocks and stuff around the bottom of your stove. Just protect the ground. Obviously you don't want to put it on somewhere where it could catch fire. Collect your wood and get your wood stashed in this back corner, and the fire roaring will help dry it out if you're in here for a week or so. Okay, so there we have it. Tent's all pitched, we've got the stove in. We obviously haven't put out all our ropes, but we would. We'd put rocks on the base as well, but it just shows you how easy it is to put it up. Ideally with 2 people makes life so much easier, but I've done it plenty of times by myself. So yeah, there you have it. That's the M.I.A. Westlander 2. It's designed for 2 guys, gear, a stove. You'd sleep in there. If you've got all your guy ropes out, it is very, very strong. So don't let the actual shape of it put you off. It looks like it's not a very aerodynamic, but it is. So by all means, if you buy one and you've got any questions, get in touch. But otherwise, just watch the video. It's pretty easy to put together. And when you put your poles out, maybe if it is a bit tricky to start with, use some insulation tape just to colour code it. But other than that, I hope you enjoy the product, and we'll catch you up on the next video.